Yeah, we can. I forgot to talk about that, but all right, let's go ahead and get started. I'll do quick introductions, and then maybe I'll let the panelists introduce themselves. So this is our 2016 Innovation Entrepreneurship Seminar presentations, also aka Shark Tank, minus the mean sharks, but also minus the funding. So if you could have them meaner, would you like that if they came with funding too?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we'll let you be meaner if you want to provide some funding.
Are we starting before Cuban shows up or what?
We're going to show before, yeah, we'll do that.
All right.
So the format today, you'll each have about 15 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes, and then the sharks will ask questions. I'll kind of cue you. If they go closer to 12 or 13, we'll have less questions. If they go more to 10, we'll let you all get your questions in. So the sharks today, I'll start. Actually, we're pretty much in order here, aren't we? We didn't even set up that way. So Michael graduated, all Bethel graduates, graduated in '98. You all met him because we went over to eTail Solutions, CEO there. Maybe I should just go real quick. I'm going to skip you and jump to, and I'll let you say something about yourselves. I'm going to jump to Adam because Adam just moved in town and connected with me via LinkedIn. I didn't even invite him because I thought he was in California. He just moved here and he's looking for a position with a SaaS company. And the reason I skipped you is I don't know if maybe the two of you would connect at some point. Because he runs a SaaS company. And he is a true entrepreneur. He is one of the first graduates of our entrepreneurship program. I remember Adam, though, from ITA when he came in and was basically, I don't need this class, you can't teach me anything, and good luck. And he had that bravado pretty much all through. He started the Bethel Entrepreneurship Club, which got rolled into BBEA, so entrepreneurial minded. Has been doing a lot with social media and been a good friend of Bethel, even though sometimes it hurts when he's a friend of Bethel because he tells us what we need to do to improve, and we do appreciate that about you. In between there, I just met you tonight, Lana,
yep.
And you are the mentor for Katie, who will be showing up but isn't here yet, so she'll be here shortly. And then I'll let each of you say a quick thing, and then Trent, you all met because he was part of he's one of the guest speakers and is last year's graduate. So we have the first graduate and then a graduate from last year. So maybe just say, add maybe one thing each on why you're here and who you are, if I missed anything about you.
Sure. So yeah, I graduated in '98. Most of my background is in software, business software, enterprise class type stuff, ERP systems and distribution. Currently focused in online retail, specifically multi-channel online retail, doing inventory control and order management and supply chain optimization for fairly high volume folks. So that's kind of my niche and sort of the view I'm going to bring on this, if it's helpful.
I work for a startup called the Bluebird Group. We do vendor representation and consulting at Best Buy and Target. So a lot of companies, especially we focus a lot on startups out of Silicon Valley with a lot of up-and-coming tech and helping them refine their presentations and help run their business once they sell into Target and Best Buy.
So we needed you to help with the presentations earlier than you should have been here last week helping.
Well, next year. Just
Okay, that's a great idea. We should do something like that.
Yeah. Well, and I was actually talking to the guys I work with about this. Like, this is like a little incubator right here in Minnesota.
It is.
It's really fun.
Cool. Good.
My name's Adam Evers. I used to work for a company called Sprinkler, which was, 100 employees 3 years ago, and now 1,100, and now valued at $1 billion. So I helped build them kind of from the ground up to some extent. I didn't found the company by any means, but I was sub 100 employees, so I've been through the startup life cycle. I moved out to Silicon Valley for a year, literally just moved back about a week ago to start a company here in Minnesota. So that's why I'm back. So I might be looking for a job, depending on how well the company goes. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
And I'm Trent. I do missions full-time, lead mission trips. So I'm big into philanthropic business, and then I do importing from China mostly, and sell online through Amazon, FBA, and do a lot of digital marketing along with that.
Great. All right, so we'll go first to Steve, and you say Steve the tree guy, but we have to say now Steve the legit tree guy, right? That's Steve. So this is for you.
Hello Sharks, I'm Steve Anderson, owner of Steve the Tree Guy LLC. The problem that I found is that trees need to be maintained. And if you don't maintain your trees, they're going to be unhealthy, they're going to be ugly, they're going to be a problem. Another problem is that tree care is expensive. And tree care profession often involves dishonesty in the form of hidden fees, low bids with high invoices. People will bid something and then all of a sudden you're also paying for stump grinding and for some rental piece of equipment that you didn't know about, and you jack up the price sounding pretty good. My solution is that I provide tree care at a value to the customer, as well as the price I bid is the price you pay. I stick to that, and I've actually lost money on jobs before because of this. Honesty is huge with me. I like to be totally transparent. My unique value is honesty. I'll tell you how it is, even if it caused me to lose work. Here's an example of oak wilt, which you can't trim tree while it's oak tree while it's growing around here. Otherwise, you really run the risk of oak wilt. And a lot of companies won't tell you that. They'll just go trim your tree, trim your oak tree, and it'll die. Well, I've actually turned down a couple of bids this year because they wanted me to trim an oak in the middle of the summer, which really should not be done. My unfair advantage is I have very low overhead. I'm a one to two man crew. Sometimes I hire my roommate to help drag sticks. It's a pretty small operation, and as the owner, I can offer the best on-site customer service. I can take care of anything on-site that needs to be taken care of, any questions, anything like that. So it's nice to be able to be at every single job site. My customers, my current best customer is an association. They're an association of 7 houses. They all have trees, and the association itself hires me. I've probably been hired a dozen times by the association. Homeowners specifically with trees, obviously, and businesses, such as Northwestern. I'm doing a job for Northwestern this summer. Bethel has my business card, and I bet I'll be doing some work for them too. My channels to my customers are business cards. I'll leave them anywhere they'll let me leave them. Little poster boards like outside of Cub. I've gotten calls from that. Customer referrals is also huge. I've gotten several jobs from customers referring me to their friends because I'm at low cost, and tend to form a pretty good relationship with my customers. Also, Thumbtack is a new thing I've been trying. It's an app where people will post a job, and then for $2 I can bid that job, and it's huge. I probably have 4 or 5 bids as in the last hour that I can do.
It'd be a lot like Elance or Odesk for tree service, or not just, it's service companies.
Yep. My costs, I have very low overhead. The only cost I have really is fuel. I already own all my equipment. I have 1 employee, which I pay very well to drag sticks, $20 an hour. But he works hard, so. Advertising, such as Thumbtack, cost me $2 to do a bid through Thumbtack. Business cards, they're pretty cheap. $50 gives me 1,000 business cards or something like that. And yeah, other advertising, as well as insurance, which I do not have yet, but I'll get into it here in a second. My key figures is I've only been in business for 3 months, legitimately. I worked for a tree company for 4 years, and then kind of did a few tree jobs every once in a while, but formed my LLC 3 months ago. So far I've only done 3 jobs, but keep in mind I've been in school I work and I go to school full-time. My total revenue from those 3 jobs is $4,000. I put it all back into the business, and I have another $4,000 in bids that after finals week, all I need to do is go do the job. My hurdles, insurance. I just found a policy, but now I need the funds to be able to purchase that policy, and that opens up several doors. I've got a couple bids waiting that want to see proof of insurance before I do the job. My other hurdle is gaining trust. Youth does not equate to a lack of capability or adequate experience. I'm only 22 years old, but I've been working, I worked there starting in middle school. So I've been running a chainsaw ever since I was strong enough to do so, because family we burned wood to heat our house. My company value, this summer I expect revenues to skyrocket. I have jobs waiting right now, and I'm going to have more time to focus on doing bids, going seeking customers. And I've also partnered with a Cut Above Tree Service, which is a guy that I used to work for. He's paying me, so if I do a bid, or go out to do a bid and it's too big a job for me, then I give him my referral, and then he pays me $25 a referral. He also is willing to help me with bigger jobs. I can borrow his equipment, rent his equipment for a lot cheaper than I can get it anywhere else. As well as he's offered to, if I have too much stuff to haul, he'll come bring his big dump truck and pick it all up for me, for a price of course, but. Questions?
So an arrow up isn't a number.
Narrow up is not a number.
What do you think you can make this number?
Well, that's going to depend a lot on when I get this insurance, because if I don't get it soon, I'm probably going to lose some of the bids that are pending the insurance.
How much is the insurance?
$1,087
Per month, per year?
per year.
What's
That's
that?
for a $1
What's
million
that?
coverage.
That's $1 million.
Yep, that's an umbrella policy. So if I'm working on a job site with several other crews, I can charge them $100 and cover them with my insurance.
What's your pipeline look like for new business?
I have, like I said, I have Northwestern. The radio station there has contacted me about doing some clearing for their towers. Most of that stuff is word of mouth. They heard about me through a friend. Other than that, it's Thumbtack. That's huge. I put in a lot more bids with Thumbtack than I do using anything else.
When you say a lot, talk a little bit about how many bids you've put in and how many you've won of those bids.
All right. Out of the bids that I put in, I only won one, but I had only put $30 in. I made $150 on it, so that's pretty good turnaround there. So I've done 15 bids.
Do you know why your bids are rejected when they're rejected?
I don't. Probably because I only have 2 reviews on my profile, and that's substantially smaller than anyone else, because a lot of people have been on Thumbtack a lot longer than I have.
You're a senior this year?
Technically I'm a senior, but I'll be here again next year.
Okay. So where do you want to take this? Is this just to get to college, or is this something you want to do beyond that?
No, I think there's money in it, and I like to think I'm good at it. Eventually I'd like to have a full crew running and have my own equipment, as well as some property to store equipment on, stuff like that.
What does seasonality look like with this? Is it something you can do year round, or is it?
No, it's summer only, but the Cut Above Tree Service, he grossed $200,000 in 5 months last year. So there's money in it.
How many crews does he run?
He runs 1 crew.
How do you go about quoting your jobs?
I go out there and I don't have anything, I don't have any set quote on certain jobs.
Do you visit each site before you submit a quote?
I do. I visit each site before I submit a quote with Thumbtack. I can't see each site before I put a quote on there, so I put certain stipulations in. It allows me to write a note in there. And I'll do like, if it's a pine tree, it's pretty easy, and you usually do that for about $200, so I'll say probably around $200 pending mileage and obstacles.
So you don't have a rate sheet per type of tree or size
No.
of tree or anything?
That's something that really you can't do with tree work, because if you're removing something over a house, it's gonna cost a lot more. And depending on the equipment I'd have to rent, such as like a cherry picker boom or something like that, or a bigger trailer, really depends on the job. A pine tree can be anywhere from $100 to $1,000.
It sounds like you have mileage factored in and some of those other costs, and I think that's great. When you showed the low overhead slide, I think that is something that's beneficial to you with having a 1 to 2 man crew, very cut and dry expenses when you come down to the ins and outs of what you're managing. What I would really like to see is your cost breakdown. If you own the equipment, are you saving the money you need for the depreciation of that equipment so that that can easily be replaced, or saving for inflation for your employees for next year when you would need to give them a raise, your insurance, saving up for next year for that, some of those things that could factor into your current bids that I didn't get a whole lot of information about.
Alright.
I know it's not a question,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
feedback, but.
Which is good as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's give them a hand. Max, you're up. And let's see, I should have people on deck so that you could get your PowerPoint up maybe as they're thinking through.
I have unlimited.
That is a little.
Well, I don't know, I take up a lot of.
Didn't even notice.
I'm like you, I'm like, yeah.
David and Katie.
So I
I just assumed a couple of small